citizens. That's our poll this morning. Of course, it'll stay up until tomorrow morning when I give you the final results. Let me just check to see if I have any more. Peter, Judy, and Clyde, good morning to you all. You didn't vote, though. Yeah. All right. So what do you got there for me, Wendell?
I have 21 people saying yes, there should be restrictions, and 2 people saying no. 21 saying yes, 2 said no. That's the results of our poll this morning. Insofar as people getting multiple FULs, multiple variations to their FUL. All right. This debate will not stop, and I don't know that
it will continue.
As I say,
it will continue.
Yeah, I don't know that this has anything to do with our murderous murder rate problem. I don't think it has anything to do with it, honestly. And I know that former Commissioner Gary Griffith had boasted that none of the firearms that he issued would have been involved in murder as well. While that may have been a boast that he could have been proud of, I don't know that is any longer that way. But at the same time, I really don't think the problem is with legal firearms. I think one of our callers said it. The problem is not the legal firearms. It is definitely the illegal ones, in my opinion. Until evidence surfaces otherwise, that shows it's legal firearms that being used for all these murders and so on, I stand by that statement. The problem here are the illegal firearms that clearly coming in the legal forms, in the legal ports.
That's right.
That's where the problem lies. We have a big problem that we just skirting around all the time. Because I don't know, customs became an untouchable somewhere along the line. Yeah. We try to fix all the other arms of our protective services and our ports, and customs just seems untouchable to me.
Nobody seems that way, yeah? It seems that way, that they're untouchable.
Who is the controller of customs? At one point in time, we used to know these things. Who is the head of customs as it stands right now? Customs come under the Ministry of Finance, I think. I know that they've been...
It comes under that. It does not come under Ministry of National Security.
Right. And
so I was told yesterday.
To be placed there.
Yeah.
Nothing has come out of that. Ever since way back in the day, I remember, as I say, Martin Joseph used to be talking about that really and truly customs should be under national security. It wasn't done under his tenure, and it still hasn't been done since. So where do we go from here? It just seems like an untouchable. Who in charge? The controller of customs, nobody knows who he or she is, and they don't go to them for any comment. Normally you'll hear who's in line for this. Customs is just like I don't know, some kind of secret society. I know a few customs officers, because I've had to deal with customs officers on a regular basis.
It can be a secret society, because it falls under the ambit of the Ministry of Finance. So it can be a secret society. So yes, because it falls under the Ministry of Finance, the ministry has the remit to engage different mechanisms to ensure safety, security, and transparency. So it's clearly that it is a status quo issue where apparently it don't really matter what happened once the ministry get the money.
Yeah.
Clearly. And I don't understand why. I ain't see the regulation or the law yet that in addition to customs security, police can be traversing customs, the ports.
Yeah.
Point me to the rule, regulation, or law that states that police can implant themselves in customs to make sure back and that happening. Show if there is one, tell me, show me. I ain't see it yet.
Yeah.
All right, let's take all those locked onto YouTube. What's that, Paul? Sorry, I talked.
If we wanted to solve this, is this decades old?
Yeah.
We can't talk about this. over and over and over and over.
Oh, yeah.
I got two reports last week from the JSC that submitted when we toured in 2017. Because I know a report was created about the vulnerabilities because Fitzgerald Hines, then chairman of the National Security Joint Select Committee, initiated tours of Port of Port-of-Spain, Plebdeco, and Piaco International Airport for the same reasons we're discussing now. Illegal guns and contraband. And I had to ask which of those recommendations since 2017 have been implemented to improve security.
Zero.
I can't wait for Wednesday. And if not, why not?
Yeah. I Googled who's the Comptroller of Customs, and it's telling me Vidya Marcial acting.
Who can have more power than the National Security Minister, the Commissioner of Police, and the Minister of Finance? He can't say don't bring police here.
Yeah.
Cannot. What to what and what? So police and extra cameras go there and what? Look, lawyers, stop. Don't stop, man.
But you don't start.
Because somebody wants this to continue this way. Because somebody benefiting from this happening
There's a benefit.
I have heard so many stories about customs officers driving up because there are bonds at the airport and so on, right? Driving up, not even coming to the normal way, driving up on the tarmac and entering those bonds and moving things. I have heard so many stories of that. So many stories like that.
If the authorities really wanted to catch people, it has several ways to catch customs officers. Customs officers make a particular level of salary in this country. Right? Like every public officer or public servant. And if your belongings don't match up to that salary, explain it. The former AG used to talk about follow the money. Like they have a block to follow that money.
Well, they're going to say they win a lotto.
Everybody win lotto. The whole crew.
Well, one man win it and share it up.
And we share it up. You things are behind the scenes.
You're right. We have spoken about that issue of follow the money too back in the day.
And who have a house in Miami and who have apartment in London of a customs officer salary. Who don't touch the salary. Okay?
Yeah.
I ain't tell that many senior officers, eh?
No.
But when they're there for 20 years and know the system inside out, and you're not rotating them and moving them out, you know what's going to happen?
Yeah.
All we do is wasting good oxygen here talking about this because nothing ain't going to change.
True.
Let me talk about flowers or Dylan Carter or something else because nothing ain't going to change.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Customs has become a bit of an untouchable.
Because they don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
What is tied to customs? Primarily. What is tied to customs?
Tied? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Money?
Big business.
Income?
Big business.
Big
business. Import, export, retail, wholesale. Big business with plenty money. Okay? That's what you have to remember. Big business that have plenty money in it. And you see, international drug and gun running is business bigger than our economy.
That's true.
Big business bigger than our economy. That's why they cut off head and chop off hand and foot and thing to send message doing the ferry billions passing through.
Yeah.
Okay, another vulnerable part of this country, that I will say it plainly. You see down on that Western Peninsula, where you get floating on a yacht, largely unchecked, and float in and out as you want. All right. You own a yacht?
Well, the other day, and I'm going to take a chance and say this on radio. The other day, a report came to the corporation, right, about a big business down on the Western Peninsula wanting help to clean a drain. And my response to it was, what? You want the corporation to assist with a backhoe to clean a drain? And you, that big business, backfill so much land with truck and backhoes that the corporation didn't have any involvement in. You now asking the corporation to provide you with a backhoe to clean a drain? Nah, you got to be joking. I say you have got to be joking. And you have acres of land by backfilling it that you're using for your own personal business. And you want us now to help you with a backhoe to clean a drain? I say you're joking, right? I said there's a joke request, right? That's what I asked in the meeting. I don't know, Another year at Port of Spain City Corporation. Say what? I'll try to do my best again as usual. I'll try to do my best. I'll give it my all once again. But I just hope, as I said in an article over the weekend, that they put things in place so that people could make up their mind if they want to stay in this local government fraternity or not. We can't have people here who just bide in time or who just here for the stipend. We want people to work and represent people. That's what we want. That's what local government needs. People to work and represent.
Well, they need accountability mechanisms.
They're there, Paul.
I'm talking about the accountability mechanisms at the top, where many CEOs don't do one damn thing whole day, but interrupt flow. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yes.
Okay? Yes. Interrupt the flow of work. Because they feel they're untouchable.
That's another untouchable area too, eh? Administrators in this country, which is really where the customs really come in, eh? They're administrating, as you say, large businesses.
Yes.
They could literally make or break you.
On a fixed public servant salary. When they say, oh my God, when I look at the amount of money passed through here and declared in the last days, millions and millions, and I allowing, authorizing this, and my salary is just $18,000-$20,000 a month. You must get at a banker.
I used to say that.
And nobody investigate the FIU, the FIB, and all of that. Are they doing due diligence where they're concerned? No.
They focus on politicians.
Them is the real politicians.
Yeah. Dr. Rowley has said that before, eh?
Them is the real politicians. Because nobody will watch them. But again, it falls under the ambit of the Ministry of Finance, which has significant powers. We have the FIU of the network. I would never run investigation into all of that. Because we need passing through legal post. We think they let it pass for free? You put in the job at risk for free? Hell no. Look, somebody want this to continue. I don't care what anybody say. Right? Don't talk about some unions that have cornered the market on certain services at specific ports. Let me tell you something. The network in this country is astounding. Astounding, to say the least. But Steve, go on. So I don't know what we're doing now. I guess I'm supposed to continue talking. But back to the situation with FUL licenses.
Yeah. Paul, just give me a couple seconds on a phone call here, right? An important phone call.
All right. That unfortunate situation we've seen so many times, unfortunately, where men feel that women are their property and that a woman can't walk away from you for whatever reason. Or for no reason at all, quite frankly, because if she walks away, she has the right to walk away for no reason. And you feel that you own her in some macabre manner, that if she decides to walk away, that you feel you'll pull a gun and end her life. It is astounding to me that we've bred that mindset in Trinidad. Well, not only Trinidad and Tobago, but because we're such a small space, it keeps happening so many times that the woman decided, and as has been advised over the years, if he is abusive, if he's displaying controlling signs, if you are not comfortable, walk away, which is what she did from all accounts. And she walked away and sought refuge by a parent, that he decide, how dare you walk away because I own you, and you can't of your own volition and agency decide I don't want to be with you no more, and you walk up and shoot her?
Yeah.
Because she don't want to be with you? Who the hell is you?
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, she don't need a reason to leave you. If she feels to leave you, she can leave you.
Exactly.
She don't need no good reason to leave you. She could get up and say, I don't want to be with you no more.
Yep.
So we've bred a mindset in some men that how dare you, the ego in play, the testosterone jump out themselves, and they feel that, well, the ego mortally wounded because this woman decided to leave you.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be no other man, or she needs no reason to leave you.
Yeah. Yeah,
she can walk away now if she feels she should have the right. She has the right to walk away now. I don't know. This just disgusts me. So as we said before, it is not that he had one or two FULs, and who is doing the psychological assessments on an annual basis to make sure these men are still in a psychological state to manage a firearm.
Yeah.
Because doing it once in 5 years is not enough.
Is that what is the requirement now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's every year.
Is that being done?
Well, again, as I pointed out.
And how thorough is that examination?
It isn't, trust me.
Because something was wrong with he. You could tell.
Yeah. It's a questionnaire, as far as I'm aware. It's a questionnaire. You answer questions on a sheet of paper.
That is the examination?
And somebody look at it. Yes. So I stand corrected if anybody could
so you're gonna take off
something different.
Yes, I'm unstable. Yes, I shouldn't have a firearm. Yes, we having marital problems. You're gonna take off that?
They kind of ask you in a kind of way some trick questions to see where you're going. You know, and that's it. And then the doctor or whoever it is will look at the paper and say, okay, fine, you're good to go. Nothing wrong with you.
I know somebody in that panel, you know. I do.
Yeah, we could ask, we could question somebody about it.
I will ask the person offline and then get back to you.
Yeah. And see if I was wrong.
I will ask the person offline and get back to you because I know someone in that panel.
Yeah,
do that. Who does those evaluations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, let's take some of your calls. 222-TALK, 612-TALK. Toll-free North Americans, 866-525-1099. In fact, if you're an FUL holder, we'd appreciate a call.
Because they asked me if I want the FUL already. I tell them he's stable enough to have that.
That I could believe.
Yeah, I know. Man know it thyself, right?
Yes, you're very right.
Right. They asked me several times. Several people have asked me over the last 20 years. I say, I ain't stable enough to have one of it. No.
I like that.
I'm glad you know your weakness.
Yeah. I'll get in trouble with that.
You going out blazing wrong the Arangre.
Let me take my chances running away. Let me take my chances running away. You're begging. No, I ain't blazing. Let me take my chances running away.
I like that.
I ain't know myself.
Let's
go.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Sure, as always. With respect to Dr. Paul and that 2017-18 report, I'm glad he mentioned it this morning because what you really notice about government, they are not really interested in solving problems, you know. They want to give you the illusion of solving problems, but they're not really interested. What I would like Dr. Paul to do is get his hand on a copy of that report and read excerpts of it on the air and the recommendations.
I could do that right now, but I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, but governments are not about
solving the
problem. It's giving the illusion that they want to solve problems. They only attack the symptoms, just like in Rose Hill. It's the symptoms they're attacking and not the source. If you don't attack the source, you will not solve the problems of this country. Thank you, guys.
Well, you know, I agree with Anita Haynes, you know.
Thank you.
That it seems easier to move the school than the gang leaders.
Yeah.
Than the gang members. So look what all the students and the teachers and the principal and the school support staff, because you can't fix the gang problem. So move the school.
It's not a pity.
She's right.
She is right.
She's right. It's easier to move the school than to move the gang. Isn't that amazing? In other words, the gang win.
Yeah.
Morning, Ragoobarsingh.
Morning, Rich.
Morning, guys. Morning, guys. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Morning to our listeners, wherever you are.
She's absolutely right. But when she said that the transfer of the school to another location seems to be at least the temporary fix to exposing students to gunfire, even though in the distance, quote unquote, as if that make a difference. Students hearing gunfire not as traumatic as the gunfire in the schoolyard. And I had to dive on the desk for their own safety, traumatized. They weren't hurt. Oh, yes, they were.
All right. We have some calls, gentlemen, so let's grab them quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Did I speak about anything?
Well, we're discussing the...
Anything you want.
Oh, okay. I can fix this country in 6 months. Believe it or not. I could fix it in 6 months. They don't want to fix or touch certain things. Anyhow, Wendell, you know about self-help?
If I know about self-help?
Yeah.
What is there to know about self-help? I know of self-help, yes.
Okay. I just have a little experience. Somebody went through getting help, self-help. It took 2 years. The house was swaying in the breeze because of termite and whatnot. The person ended up taking the galvanized and make a little shed and put all the stuff in it. Self-help. Call and say they're getting the material coming. The material was cement with a note. You will be charged or some penalty if you sell the cement. If you're going to help somebody and all they have is the post up, the first thing you should give them is steel and decking sheet. So
well, it depends on what the person asks for or what they qualify for.
How you mean qualify? If it's to help you with your house, cement can't help. Cement cannot be the first thing on the list. When I call City Hall and complain, they take out half the cement and sell some gravel. You have to start from the foundation, send some steel and the decking sheet, and then the person could take it from there. So the cement sit down there in all this rain, where they tell them you cannot sell, and the person back to square one because they had to wait to save up money to buy the steel and then save up money to buy the decking sheet before they could use the cement. They're helping nobody. The government just stressing people out.
Well, I don't know, Ms. Sampson. It sounds to me like they get help. Maybe they didn't get the help that they wanted, but it sounds to me like they get help. And that is what self-help is about. If you didn't specify exactly what you want done, I don't know that self-help is supposed to guess what you want. You would have had to provide, that's all, let me finish. You would have had to provide a list of the things that you need to fix your place because you have to provide the labor, you know. Self-help only helps you provide the material. You understand? And you would have had to put out a good case, in other words, for them to put out the resources to help you. So if they send cement, it's because of what you indicate.
No, when they're not talking about, when I call, I just be talking about what I know. The first thing on the woman list was steel and decking sheet.
Well, maybe they didn't. Well, again, Ms. Sampson, maybe they didn't have that at the point in time, you know. But if they if you get cement, well, oh gosh, try to get something from someone else. Or you have to help yourself with self-help, you know. Self-help is not about them just providing you with everything you ask for, you know.
Yeah. No, all right, Ms. Sampson.
Start at the foundation. Now you can't start with cement and then tell me don't sell it and the rain fall it and cement don't last. Your man frustrated.
All right.
I
I
don't know what
really
we can
can't
tell you
speak
there,
to
Ms.
that
Hampton. Thank you.
particular situation, but I do know that self-help is about helping people who could help themselves.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Morning, Katie. I like your
Hi.
poll.
Yes, well, it sure is bad, crazy. But I wanted to bring up this topic in terms of, we're hearing about the customs issue, right? Before we heard about all the, the illegal guns and the gun violence and whatever it is. But, I think maybe it's about time, and I mean, this could be very controversial, but I mean, I think that maybe it's about time that we, get bounty hunters involved in these whole things. Because, I mean, if you look at it, the police always say, anytime there's a gun violence, the police always say that how the person was known to us, or, or they know that he's part of a gang or what. Okay, well, if you know who these people are, who the heads are, and I mean, how much are they? Offer a reward that is lucrative to people who would want to bring them in, or even the police to bounty hunt them, and let's get it. I mean, in the long run, the cost to the country may be worth it in terms of all the capital that we're losing from the.
I just have one question for you, sir.
Yes, Mr. Paul.
Does the bounty hunter also collect evidence to pass through the court system?
Sorry?
Does the bounty hunter, because a bounty hunter to me is someone who goes after an individual, right? So the bounty hunter will go after the gang members or leaders. Does the bounty hunter also go after evidence to support a conviction?
Okay, well, maybe I need to rephrase what I'm saying, but the context I mean it. What I mean is that there are a number of warrants for people's arrest outstanding, or wanted people, as the case might be, and those are the ones that I'm talking about. Right,
and I agree with that. But in addition to wrongs, so your suggestions that the police are incapable of wrongs up these people who are known to them. The problem the police face is the ability to, in addition to rounding up the person, to also gather the evidence that can support a conviction in the courts of law, because that's how our system works. So it's one thing to round up the person and having intelligence on the person to say you're a person of interest, or that I feel that you're a gang leader or a gang member and committing crimes. It's another thing to get enough evidence to meet the bar to convict them in a court of law, because all they will do is end up on the street.
So, Paul, when they issue a warrant for somebody's arrest, or a warrant or as a wanted person, don't they have some basis to have gotten that warrant or that?
Yes, you can arrest people, but in addition to arresting people, you have to provide evidence that can support a charge. A charge is not an arrest.
Okay, I hear that, Paul. I hear that. But what I'm saying is that right now, given the state in which we are, maybe in just the factor of bringing these people in, you will begin to get the guns and whatever it is that.
That's what happened during the state of emergency some years ago, and they sued the state.
Katie, you're sure you're not confusing bounty hunters with vigilantes?
No. I'm not suggesting vigilantes at all.
You can collect persons out of a reaction to crime and panic, and they still end up with a good attorney back on the street because your evidence did not support your suspicions or your intelligence. You have to gather enough evidence to proffer a charge against. Which, am I wrong, Ragoobarsingh? You're the lawyer.
Not hearing anything.
Richard, still adjusting to the hour change.
Paul, I take your point. Yes, I agree that wronging them up is just not enough. But what I'm saying is that in the process of wronging up as well, maybe you will be able to get a good bit of the guns off the street as well.
And that is not the way our criminal justice system should work, because then they could wrong up anybody as they've done in the past. They wrong up how much, Black Boy, Wendell?
We do that, 10,000 of them.
Right. Whether because of a perception of you involved or associated with, and then you put my son or my daughter in jail because you feel the guilty and you had no evidence to support it. That's a dangerous approach.
No, I'm in no way advocating that. I just want to be clear.
It's something similar though.
I'm saying that there is the wanted list. That is a list that the justice system has. And what I'm saying is about times we start bringing that list.
And let me tell you, you see that wanted list?
You were saying
it have 5 times the amount of attorney waiting to defend them.
Just like how, we were saying enforcing the traffic laws in some jurisdictions as it starts to bring down the crime, the crime incidents, right? I'm also suggesting that, well, if there's a wanted list, an official published wanted list, then maybe we need to start bringing those people in as well.
They just bring them in, And they call the attorney, meet me by the police station. And the attorney say, where the evidence, partner? They bring in a client with the evidence.
Clearly, there's a list of things in the justice system that we need to fix as well.
That is justice system all over the world.
Yeah, I don't believe we have a system of bounty hunters in Trinidad.
I don't
Usually it's warrant officers who are the ones who are trying to detain people for whatever purpose. And it's detained before they charge them. Depending on the evidence, then you can charge. And then once you're charged, then you go through the system. Bail, etc., etc., etc. But I don't think we have any coordinated bounty hunting as you see in American films and movies, which allow, their legislation has to allow it.
Oh, good.
And I don't believe we have the legislation that allows bounty hunting. As far as I know, the only kind of loop around you can probably do is like a citizen's arrest or something. But other than that, it would be warrant officers who would be the ones who are legally entitled to arrest people, and they would generally be police officers.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Orlando calling.
Oh, Orlando, what's happening?
Not much. I missed you guys earlier because of daylight saving. I got up late. Couple things. Number one, I joined when Paul was speaking about the custom officers. I recall I was saying 2020, and the state ranking custom officer got killed to be efficient. So what I remember. So the question I have is this: how come we have never implemented the Integrity Commission, where custom officers and police officers have to report on their lifestyle? I recall I was in New York a long time when John Gotti was brought down. And he wasn't brought down because of murder. That is eventual and Islamic stealing. But really because of tax evasion. How come we haven't said custom officers and police officers, I would add regiment, living this lifestyle, show how your salary is supported? It's a simple thing. I believe all the parliamentarians, I don't know, Paul could answer this, have to do that. I believe so. Why not roll it down? That will be one way, to me, of slowing down the traffic. How could you afford that lifestyle? So I'll go offline. I'd like to hear what the answer is. I really did.
While the Integrity Commission, because someone suggested that they should also, senior officers in customs should also fall under the ambit of the Integrity in Public Life Act. There are present mechanisms in place to investigate if one feels that there's a corrupt officer.
Yes. Through the Integrity Act, there are.
Outside the Integrity Public Life Act, we have the FIU, the FIB that can run investigations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have the FIU, and they can investigate. They can investigate if it is that they feel that certain payments are being made.
Typically, an investigation is when you suspect something. I'm saying don't suspect. Do it up front of the front door. In order to be a custom officer, you have to subject yourself to this every year.
I'm telling you guys too, under the Integrity in Public Life Act too, they also can investigate. So for instance, the Integrity in Public Life Act covers public officials, but it also covers people exercising public duty too. So in other words, if I have a suspicion that a customs officer or somebody is doing something wrong, I can report that to the Integrity Commission and they will investigate, Or if they get wind of anybody doing anything wrong who exercising public duty, they can investigate them too, That is covered under the Integrity in Public Life Act,
But understand something, that becomes subjective. I'm saying do not make it subjective. Do not make it where someone has to report. You do it up front. So everyone has to report. Because I can report it to my friend in customs, and he may be unsupported also. And that will get buried in file 13. I'm saying do not leave it to someone. Do not leave it to a man or woman.
While I agree with you, people who have a tendency to corruption or criminal activity, to steal or to to engage in corrupt, we'll find a way around that. There are still present mechanisms by which, if there is the suspicion that persons are accepting bribe money to allow contraband into the country, illegal drugs and guns, there are present agencies that can investigate now.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, again, I'm saying the agencies themselves may have some corrupt characters in there.
That's worldwide, you know.
It is, of course. This is not only the Trinidad.
Yeah.
I see in America all the time. All I'm saying to you is that we have an endemic problem here, where obviously, from what I've been reading, things are coming into Trinidad, and it doesn't come into legal ports that are controlled by customs. How come you can't catch custom officers? It's very simple. To me, one, you do a sting operation. Two, you put in place, by law, everyone has to go through. If I am driving, whatever, a Tesla, and I may be salary of a VW, how could I do it? Granted, as I tell my students, there's no such thing as a perfect mousetrap. Someone the mouse will always find a way to get it cheese. But
there is legislation to deal with those kinds of issues, in terms, and which would probably come under the FIU and the relationship that they have with the commercial banking sector, and the banking sector reporting unusual activity financially on people's accounts, and for which they can't account. That's why you have to do a declaration of funds form, etc., etc. So there are things. The only way you can deal, rather than us demonizing on a certain level, but demonizing customs officers. Of course, you have rogue officers in all institutions. The less interaction you have with human beings, the better for any system. So the more automated a system is in terms of looking and trying to source illegal activity, the more automated that system is, the better in terms of backing up any intelligence that you may have with regard to issues. Because you have to also understand that intelligence has to be the backing of why you're searching somebody in the first place. Nothing is happening in a silo separate from itself. So automation and intelligence is what would, to me, would yield results. Depending on human beings, depending on human beings to do X, Y, and Z is always a recipe for possible corruption when you have rogue officers in whatever institution.
Richard, whilst I agree with you, and I really don't see automation coming in the immediate future, I am saying is, in the interim, let us start putting things in place. So even if we scare off one ex-officer, police, regiment, whatever, we could save the country 10 lives. I don't know what the metric is. I'm just saying, is we put things in place to slow it up. We cannot stop.
But you see that issue of illegal guns, it's not just about customs officers.
Well, I'm only talking guns now. I'm talking illegal
guns.
But
I mean, that's where the conversation began. But I'm just saying, in terms of illegal guns, which is an issue in Trinidad, that issue is not just about customs officers. That's a broader, more complex issue that in a small space, in my opinion, can be eradicated, because Trinidad and Tobago is a small space.
Thank you, caller.
Okay.
I'll just give you an example. I'll just give you an example. One of our listeners reached out to me and indicated that they were traveling to Israel. And they indicated that when they arrived in Israel, they went to a kiosk, they scanned their passport, it took their picture, they collected their luggage and left. They never saw an immigration officer, they never saw a customs officer. Why? It's because the system is automated, and it's also putting your name against databases, looking at who you are, and once you don't register a flag, they have no need to see you to ask you anything or even search your luggage. Besides your luggage probably be going through scanning anyway, as part of their automated procedure. This is Israel, a country that's often in conflict with its neighbors and is very overprotective about of its borders with the Palestinians, etc. And they're telling me all they did was scan their passport, got their picture taken, collected the luggage, and left. There was no human interaction whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And
the United States was getting there, and I don't know, for one reason or the other, that they backed off of that process.
But who studies their security more than Israel?
Mm-hmm.
More than even Trinidad.
Yeah.
And probably more than the United
issue of
States.
Scanning, Richard, is what you pointed out there. I don't know what is going on with our scanners. You always hear all kind of nebulous reasons as to why we're not scanning things, why the scanner's not working. It's almost deliberate. You understand? Because you're right. If someone's luggage or whatever is scanned thoroughly and you know it was scanned, then you don't have any reason to be detaining that person for anything else, really.
Yeah.
Let's grab this call, gentlemen. Good morning.
And you see, it becomes priority that somebody's...
I hope that Mr. Ragoobarsingh continues to enjoy his vacation. However, I have a question for Dr. Paul Richards. I hope he can answer me. Can he tell me if the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago signed off on the pardon granted to Mr. Vincent Mills? I'll listen now.
And how would I know that, sir? and there was a pardon signed off on? That's the first thing. And if there was a pardon signed off on, how would I know that?
I don't think there was any pardon signed. There was an indemnity.
And if there was, how would I know that? Do I work for the office of the president?
Well, we know that you know many things, Paul.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, exactly.
That's just a damn mischievous question. That's what it is.
I'm glad you said it.
Just a damn mischievous question.
I'm glad you said it.
Because you asked me, so I could say it.
Morning. Wonderful Monday morning to Paul Richards, Richard Ragoobarsingh, and Wendell. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick. How are you?
On the matter of the lady and the guy with his 5 gun or 6 gun or 10 gun, what happened? When I read the news and I listen to the discussion what went on with the people, they must marry in January, you say. Right? The lady left and came back home about 6 months after somewhere there. They said they had a financial problem. Right? I know somebody who knows a certain part of that situation. And I want to ask a question. Should you marry somebody who have financial debt, deep financial debt?
What kind of question is that, Mr. Patrick?
Should you marry somebody who already have deep financial debt?
But how would you know that anyway? How would you know that? Unless the person tells you.
You and the person must have a discussion about finance. Because
Mr. Patrick, what world you living in?
When I know situation where people marry people who are scared, debt and never tell them, and they was taking their money.
Yeah, love does that. Love blinds you to those things, Mr. Patrick. Mr. Patrick, love blinds you to a lot of things, you know.
Right, so now when the lady now decide she can't bail out the man no more, until eventually went to the man come and get you.
How you know that is what happened, Mr. Patrick?
But that's what the news saying. They have financial debt. The man have financial debt. The man have a business. The man have a business. The woman is a teacher. The lady left and went home. Listen, it's a people out there there's no plenty thing I order. They will let up. So the question I asking, if I have my debt and I continue bailing your debt out, and I get fed up and I leave. Look, for instance, I know a young lady who every time she get paid had to go and pay her husband maintenance and it was his children.
But she accepts that.
And she gets fed up and she left.
People have all sorts of situations that they live with financially in terms of relationships. This was one that just went wrong, that went wrong in a very horrible and tragic way, in terms of how the man dealt with whatever issue that he was dealing with, and it's tragic. in terms of the young lady who died. I think her name is Keisha Bostic, and she was an attorney at law as well as a teacher, apparently. But people have all manner of situations in terms of financial stresses that they go through in relationships. You can't use one example. You can't use one tragic example and suddenly generalize on relationships and finances.
No, the guy
finances is a huge stress on relationships. I would say that. But
the guy used the wrong method to deal with the matter.
All right.
Mr. Patrick,
Patrick, I have to pause you here now because I need to run to my news.
All right, we will discuss that right now.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick.
You don't have the facts, and neither do we.
Yeah.
He's just reading what he's talking about. I read in the newspapers as well. But
but many marriages and relationships deal with financial issues.
Yeah.
And it is a stress.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our news brief, all powered by Sham Florida Services.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
UNC Deputy Leader Dr. Rudal Munilal has called for President Paul Weeks to officially tell the country